Raider Nation, this is exactly why we're different. What I'm about to tell you is going to show you the ruthless championship level decision making that separates winning organizations from everyone else. We're not talking about feel-good stories or keeping players because they're nice guys. We're talking about cold, calculated moves that prove this front office is all about winning. Get ready for this because we've got 3 developments that show just how serious Pete Carroll and this organization are about building a championship roster. We're talking about claiming talent that other teams gave up on, making tough decisions about our own draft picks, and proving that sentiment doesn't matter when rings are on the line. First, we've got breaking news about a pass rusher we just claimed off waivers who could be the steal of the entire waiver period. Then we've got the brutal reality of what happened to 2 of our 6th round picks that shows you exactly how competitive this roster has become. And finally, we've got confirmation of our quarterback depth chart that proves we're not messing around when it comes to having reliable backup options. But here's what's got me absolutely fired up. Raider Nation, while other teams are making emotional decisions and keeping players for sentimental reasons, our organization is making the kind of ruthless moves that championship teams make. We're claiming talent, cutting dead weight, and building a roster that can compete with anyone in the NFL. Smash that like button if you appreciate championship level roster management. Drop a comment and let me know you understand that winning requires tough decisions. And if you haven't subscribed yet, you're missing out on the most honest Raiders analysis you'll find anywhere. Think you know how competitive our pass rushing room just became? Think you understand what it takes to make this roster in 2025? You're about to get a masterclass in professional football roster construction. Raider Nation, our front office just made a move that could be the steal of the entire waiver period. We just claimed pass rusher Brennan Jackson off waivers from the Los Angeles Rams. And this pickup has the potential to be absolutely massive for our defense. Listen to this. Jackson was the 5th round pick by the Rams just last year out of Washington State. He's only 24 years old, which means he's got his entire career ahead of him. But here's where it gets interesting. He had 3 sacks in the preseason this year alone. 3 sacks! And the Rams just cut him loose. General Manager John Spytek and his staff obviously see something special in Brennan Jackson that the Rams didn't appreciate. This is the kind of talent evaluation that separates smart organizations from the rest of the league. While Los Angeles is giving up on a young pass rusher with obvious potential, we're swooping in to add depth to our pass rushing crew. Think about our current pass rush room. We've got Max Crosby leading the charge as one of the most feared edge rushers in the NFL. We've got Malcolm Koonce as a reliable starter. Tyree Wilson is entering his crucial 3rd season, and Charles Snowden provides veteran depth. Now we're adding Jackson, who brings youth hunger and preseason production. But here's what makes this move brilliant. Jackson played in 7 games as a rookie and had 3 tackles, but he's clearly been developing. Those 3 preseason sacks show he's putting it all together. Sometimes young players just need a change of scenery, and coming to an organization that believes in pass rushing excellence could unlock his full potential. We might have to clear a roster spot by moving Charles Snowden or one of our linebackers, like Tommy Eichenberg or 7th round pick Cody Lindenberg, but that's the kind of tough decision championship teams make. You upgrade talent wherever you can find it, and get this, we could also put Aiden O'Connell on injured reserve to make room since he's expected to miss 6 to 8 weeks with that fractured wrist. That would be a perfect solution that gives us roster flexibility while O'Connell recovers. The beautiful part about this move is that no Las Vegas players were claimed by other teams. That means our waiver cuts were the right decisions and we were able to add talent without losing anyone. We wanted to keep. Brennan Jackson represents everything we love about this organization. We're always looking for ways to get better, always searching for undervalued talent, always willing to take calculated risks on players who can contribute to championship aspirations. But if you think claiming talent off waivers is impressive, wait until you hear about the brutal decisions we made with our own draft picks that prove just how competitive this roster has become. Raider Nation, this is where champions are separated from pretenders. We just made two brutal but necessary cuts that show you exactly how serious this organization is about winning, and it involves two 6th-round picks who are becoming fan favorites. Cam Miller and Tommy Mellott are gone. Both waived on Tuesday, and while it might seem harsh, this move proves that Pete Carroll and this front office are building a championship roster where nobody's job is safe based on draft status or feel-good stories. Miller was a standout quarterback at North Dakota State, an FCS star who was temporarily the QB2 on our depth chart after Aiden O'Connell's injury. But guess what happened? We traded for Kenny Pickett to back up Geno Smith, and suddenly Miller became expendable. That's championship level roster management right there. Tommy Mellott played quarterback at Montana State, but was trying to convert to wide receiver in the NFL. Both of these players were 6th-round picks from just 4 months ago, and now they're at risk of being claimed by other teams. And you know what, Raider Nation? This is exactly what winning organizations do. We don't keep players because we drafted them. We don't make decisions based on sentiment. We keep the players who give us the best chance to win championships. The Raiders, ahead of a season of possible contention with Geno Smith and Pete Carroll at the helm, clearly felt that 53-man roster spots were better spent on more experienced, versatile players. And that sentence tells you everything you need to know about our mentality. Some people might say it's surprising to see both these cuts since they weren't undrafted free agents. We actually used draft picks on them. But here's the reality. If you can't contribute to winning at the NFL level, draft status doesn't matter. This isn't college football where everyone gets playing time. The good news is that both Miller and Mellott will likely end up on our practice squad if they clear waivers, so we're not completely giving up on their development. But the message is crystal clear. If you want to be on the 53-man roster, you better be ready to contribute to championship aspirations right now. This is the difference between organizations that talk about winning and organizations that actually do what it takes to win. We're not here to develop projects on the active roster. We're here to put the best possible team on the field every Sunday. And speaking of putting the best team on the field, our quarterback situation just got solidified in a way that proves we're serious about having reliable depth at the most important position. Raider Nation, our quarterback depth chart is now set, and it proves we're not taking any chances when it comes to the most important position in football. The Kenny Pickett trade has officially reshuffled our entire QB room, and what we've built is championship level depth. Here's how it breaks down. Geno Smith is our undisputed starter, and Pete Carroll has made it clear that the 34-year-old veteran owns the QB1 job for 2025. At 4,020 yards and 21 touchdowns last season, Smith remains one of the most efficient passers in the league. Kenny Pickett slots in as our primary backup, and this move makes perfect sense. Pickett has 4,065 NFL passing yards and 15 passing touchdowns in his career. He was part of Philadelphia's Super Bowl winning team last season, going 291 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and just 1 interception when called upon. That's the kind of reliable production you want from your backup. Aiden O'Connell drops to 3rd on the depth chart while he recovers from that broken wrist that's going to sideline him for 6 to 8 weeks. O'Connell has previous starting experience for us, so when he's healthy, we'll have 3 quarterbacks who can step in and manage games if needed. And Cam Miller, even though he was waived from the active roster, will likely develop on the practice squad as our 4th quarterback. The former North Dakota State star showed encouraging signs in training camp, but at Holding 24 years old, his 2025 season is all about development rather than being a realistic backup option. But here's what makes this quarterback room special. We've got experience, reliability, and depth. Pickett didn't get a very long leash in Pittsburgh, but he's had time to continue developing as a backup. He's been traded 3 times in 2 years, which means he's hungry to prove himself in the right situation. The fact that we moved quickly to acquire Pickett after O'Connell's injury shows that Pete Carroll and this organization understand you can never have too much depth at quarterback. One injury, one bad game, one unexpected situation, and suddenly your backup becomes the most important player on your team. This is the kind of planning that championship organizations do. We're not hoping our starter stays healthy. We're prepared for any scenario. Whether it's Smith leading us to the playoffs or Pickett stepping in during crucial moments, we've got options that can keep our championship dreams alive. Smash that like button if you appreciate having championship level depth at quarterback. Drop a comment and tell me you're confident in this QB room. And subscribe because we're going to be following every snap these quarterbacks take. This is what separates Raider Nation from every other fan base. We understand that winning requires tough decisions, smart planning, and ruthless roster management. Whether it's claiming Brennan Jackson off waivers, making brutal cuts with Miller and Mellett, or building championship depth with Kenny Pickett, this organization is proving they're all in on winning. Are you ready to see what happens when an organization makes every decision with championship aspirations in mind? Are you ready to witness what Raider Nation looks like when sentiment takes a backseat to winning? Just win, baby.